We're here in Melbourne and it looks like things are slowly coming back to normal because it is a Friday afternoon and guess what? Climate change is back on the agenda. There is a climate change protest here in Melbourne once again.
So, sorry, you're contracted to which company, sorry?
You can take it straight off my ID so there's no...
You're contracted to Rebel News Network.
But a little bit of confusion because a couple of days ago police were pepper spraying peaceful anti-lockdown protesters because coronavirus is so goddamn dangerous. So will you guys be pepper spraying the climate change protesters today? Or?
I'm putting you on notice now.
But suddenly it seems like the virus is okay. It doesn't spread in climate change protests. I'm not going to move on. Like, with all due respect, this is my job. This is what I'm paid for. You're doing your job. Nobody's hindering you from doing your job. You know who I am very well. Can't make this stuff up. Avi Yemini in Melbourne, Australia for Rebel News. How you going, guys? We've got a protest today.
It's not a protest, it's a rally.
A rally? Are you here for the rally?
I was.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, I attended a climate change demonstration here in Melbourne, which was organised on Facebook. To be honest, you can probably tell I was really excited to go because I really missed those events. But I was also really keen to see how police will react with their little rally after months of arresting people for merely organising lockdown protests on Facebook, just like they did. And then bashing any protesters who actually showed up to those rallies, no matter how big or small the rally was. Remember Kerry Cottrell, who's a plaintiff in our Supreme Court challenge at savevictoria.com.au. She was walking alone, abiding by all the Chief Health Officer's directives while holding an anti-Andrews sign before
You're clearly conducting a protest against Jan Andrews.
being pounced on by Victoria Police. The truth is, since the Premier Daniel Andrews declared this state of emergency, only one protest has been allowed to go ahead, the enormous Black Lives Matter rally back in June. So yesterday was the first non-anti-Andrews rally since that famous or infamous Black Lives Matter one was permitted. So see why I'm so excited. Are the police going to shut you down like they shut down all the other protests?
Don't know.
Don't know. Are you ready to go to jail for the climate?
Yes, actually.
If this was a lockdown thing, this would be shut down by now.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
I actually follow you on Facebook and shit. I think you're an idiot.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love speaking to people who think I'm an idiot.
That's cool.
Okay, let's have a chat. So,
Go on.
are you? Which part of me is an idiot?
Well, I think you are just full of shit. Like you misinformation. You.
Like what?
I don't know. Well, I haven't been like following you recently. I had to stop. It was bad for my mental health.
What made you stop? Which thing exactly that I said made you stop watching me?
So I think it was a few months ago.
There are Victoria Police here now. Let's see if they shut this down as they've shut down all the other protests in Melbourne violently until now. Lately, 2 days ago, pepper sprayed anybody that protested. So I wonder if they're going to shut them down. Climate change back on the agenda. Can you answer one question?
No.
One question?
No.
Tell me, what is a bigger risk to the planet? Climate, COVID, or Biden?
I'm not talking to you.
I don't know, probably climate. Yeah, I mean, like, you obviously don't know that much about our politics because we fucking hate Biden.
Oh, do ya?
Yeah, we fucking hate Biden. We fucking hate COVID, and we fucking hate the climate being destroyed by fucking climate criminals, so...
Probably
The
people
clim-
like you.
Okay, we'll make four options. The climate, COVID, or Joe Biden? Climate?
Yeah, dude, where we live.
It's getting way too hot, isn't it?
Oh, well, I don't know. But fuck, you can't let that shit slide, eh? I know, it's miserable now.
Oh, definitely climate.
Then?
Biden's fine.
You like Biden?
He's so much better than the previous.
Climate,
Yeah.
COVID,
Yeah.
Biden, or we'll add me because you wanted to, or me.
Probably climate. Yeah.
I don't even want to say Biden because I reckon it's Biden.
Why?
Because that guy's about to fall asleep at the wheel.
Oh, but like at least he's not. At least he's like slightly a bit more coherent than Trump.
Trump's done 4 years and the
I think
planet's
you're really
still...
charismatic. I actually like you a little
I
bit better
kind of like
now.
you, yeah. I won. You don't like Trump?
You've got to get rid of a trumpet.
Why?
He's done so many things that are wrong and are going to be wrong for generations.
Like what?
Oh, I read a whole list of them a couple of hours ago, but I can't reel any of them off at the moment.
Are you here to protest the climate?
No, I'm here to report on the protest, actually.
So I put a question to them. They couldn't answer really. It's a simple question. What do you think is the bigger danger to the planet? Climate, COVID, or Biden?
Biden. Definitely.
How did you find lockdown?
I'm not talking to you.
I just want to ask you one question.
Yeah, I know, I'm not interested.
Lockdown has cut emissions by about 40%. Do you reckon we should continue lockdown for like forever? Save the planet?
I'm not talking to you.
In lockdown, emissions have been cut by about 40%. Do you reckon we should keep lockdown?
Yes, in Sydney.
How did you find the lockdown? Do you think the 40% emissions savings was worth it? We should do more of that? Victorian socialists probably give you a bit of a taste of what socialism is? No?
Oh, I haven't really been phased by it.
You haven't been phased by it? Do you have a job?
Yeah, I did have a job, but it was
And COVID?
a shit job, didn't really care, so.
So you're happy to lose it? You're the worst. So, this is the happiest guy in Victoria. He had a job before COVID that he hated and he lost it, so he's happy and he's got the beers. So he's stoked and he's like, this climate's going to shit. Because my next question was, they say that emissions have dropped by about 40% in lockdown, which means that if we continue the lockdown forever, we can save the planet. Should we do it?
Is that actually true? Yeah. You reckon that actually works?
I don't know why you're putting the two together, really. Like,
My point is that to be able to reach the goals that the numbers they want to hit, you're going to have to go further than even what we've been through in the last few months.
no, you don't.
You do. That drastic drop of emissions, and we will potentially save the planet. Should we lock down forever?
Oh, that's a bit of a blow to the social life of people, but.
What do you mean? You lost the shit job anyways.
Oh, well, I'm not the only person in Australia.
Oh, so you care about others. That's good. So we shouldn't lock down forever.
No, I don't think so, man.
Well, you don't really care about the planet then, do you?
Hey? That's not what I'm saying.
I'm not answering any of your questions.
It's not nice. You know, I have feelings too.
Yeah.
How'd you find lockdown? Let's talk person to person, human to human. Don't we
I'm
all?
interested in talking to you.
Why not?
Because you're a fascist.
Okay, what makes me a fascist?
You're far right. I'm not interested in talking to you.
What makes me far right?
Not interested in talking to you.
Hitler wouldn't have wanted me on board. I come from an ultra-orthodox...
But we're not in the days of Hitler no more. Like, fascism looks very different today.
Okay, so does fascism... What does fascism look like today?
Oh, well, that's a big question. I mean, it's just like very more discreet and it's not so overt like Hitler would have said, you know, like if you're not blue-eyed and fair-haired, like you can't get away with that shit these days. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's not true. There's a lot of people that do say that, and they are fascists,
Yeah,
and that's why they
yeah.
hate me.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of like, you know, right-wing people with fascist ideas that
Like
are,
what? Like what ideas?
Well, like, I don't fucking know.
Lockdown, has it been good in Melbourne? If it's saving the planet, is it worth it?
Yeah, mate, you know.
You don't care?
Just
About what?
don't fucking.
How you going, mate?
Hey, how you going?
How you going? You all right?
Yes, what's your name, please?
Avi Yemini.
Yes, can you please get some more identification for me, Avi?
That's my media press card, government, Commonwealth
Yep. Do you have your
issued.
driver's license on you?
I do too, yeah, but that's my
Can I please
government
see? Can I
issued.
please see?
Yeah, no problem.
Sure.
Do you want a copy of my passport or my license?
Either one of those before, thanks.
There you go.
You're not here to protest, are you?
No, I've got my Commonwealth issued from the Australian government press
You're very
pass.
happy with that, aren't
I
you?
am. I really love it because that's my press pass.
Can we get another unit over here, please? Can you spell your first name for me, please?
Avraham, Avraham. Surname,
please.
Yemini, Yemini.
Your date of birth, please.
171085.
What's your purpose for being here?
I'm covering, there's a-
outside of your 25k.
That's okay. I'm working in the media.
Do you have your
A copy of my permit I don't have on me now, to be honest, but
Okay, you don't have your copy of your permit on you, so I'm going to ask you to leave. You're outside of your 25k.
that's all right. I'll get a copy now sent to you here. I'm not going to move on. Like, with all due respect, this is my job. This is what I'm paid for. You're doing your job. Nobody's hindering you from doing your job. You know who I am very well. We have a current case with Victoria Police in the Supreme Court. The last couple of rallies, you've understood that, and we've worked really well together. I'm not here to bother you guys from doing your job, but you're not going to move me on from doing my job. I can give you a copy of my worker's
You
permit.
need to produce your permit.
I'll
If you
get
don't
that
produce
sent.
your permit,
I'll
then
get
you
that
need to
sent.
leave.
I'll get that sent now here. And otherwise I will fill another one out here right now. Otherwise, you can go ahead and issue whatever fine you want to issue while I'm doing my job with my Commonwealth press card, which is quite obvious what I'm doing here, working. It's interesting, isn't it? There's been 0 cases for a week now, and they're trying to intimidate me to leave from doing my job because I forgot the piece of paper back at home, which is more than 25 k's from here. This is all because of coronavirus. For your safety at home, right now, this is what's happening. The funny thing is, every other protest in this state, since Black Lives Matter, have been met with brute force. You saw Tuesday, pepper spray deployed on peaceful protests. But today, for some reason, there's a big police presence, and there are some protesters that set up a stand. Suddenly, COVID is fine. The problem is Avi Yemini is outside of his 25 kilometres. We better jail him. I think that's a good idea. I need to fill out another work permit. I forgot.
I've got an empty one for you.
Can you bring it?
Yeah.
Thank you. And a pen. Oh, God. Guys, no matter what they think about Monica, she's actually all right.
They know who you are, though.
I know. They're having a laugh.
Okay.
All right, here you go. Keep filming. There's a work permit. Done.
Thank you. Mind if I take a photograph of that?
Not a problem, mate. Remember, this is all to save us from the deadly virus. So, will you guys be pepper spraying the climate change protesters today? Or?
I'm putting you on notice now. If you're here and you cause some issues, I'll be asking you to leave.
All right, so under the Commonwealth Act, you can't actually move me on
If you're causing a breach of the peace, I can, and if you fail to move on, we can take some action from there. So
you do what you got.
At the moment,
Yep. I never cause trouble.
You're here for media purposes, but if you cause a breach of the peace, I'll be asking you to leave. Okay?
Well, if somebody attacks me, that's on them, that's not on me. You understand, we're already in court over that one. I just want to ask as police, today you guys going to take the same... You're not going to take the same... No? Not going to pepper spray the climate change protesters? That's a bit different. How you going, guys? No one here is breaching the peace? It's good to see. Are you guys here for the protest?
Nothing else to do other than wallow about.
That Monica was here and only lived like 2 blocks away, but I actually drove in my car because I couldn't get here fast enough.
Oh, you love Monica. Yeah, she's...
Yes, and I also like you.
Okay, good save, good save. But question, there's a protest here today.
Okay, well,
climate change, exciting stuff. Question is, we've seen protests over the last few weeks in Melbourne. Tuesday,
Yes.
police deployed pepper spray on peaceful protesters.
Yes, and they use the kettling technique.
So why do you think climate change is a different... Do they have a different set of rules? Question, does COVID not attack the climate?
It attacks my climate.
Excuse me, mate. Are you, you seem to be stalking Monica.
Yeah, I am. I'm a cameraman.
Oh, okay.
How are you, Avi? I'm a bit of a fan, by the way.
Your footage is getting a bit shaky.
I've got an image stabiliser on the camera. It's pretty good.
You saved my ass. I almost spent the night in the hole for putting the entire state coronavirus safety at risk. That was...
You're always putting people's safety at risk.
That's Avi Yemini.
We love it.
Are you live? Are you...
Yeah, I'm live. There's
I'm not really here.
800 people watching.
Guys.
What do you want to say?
Yeah, listen, coronavirus is a serious issue today. We've had 0 cases for 7 days. So just you watching this would potentially spread the deadly virus over Facebook. So tune out and sign up to Rebel News. That was it. How good was that? That was smooth. That was smooth.
If this was an anti-lockdown protest, it'd be looking very different.
Well,
Probably would have been maced by now.
exactly. So
I
you
don't
guys,
live
what are you guys
far,
doing
so
here?
We don't live far.
we don't
so
live far, we
decided
just
to go
went
for
for
a
a
walk,
walk,
and
yeah.
we started seeing police, and then we found out it was a climate change thing, and then we wanted to see the difference, the police response difference.
What do you think of the lockdown protests that are still going on?
Why not?
Oh, because we're not in lockdown anymore.
So why are they not allowed to protest? He doesn't even let me ask my question.
People, you know, all the mainstream channels, they try to persuade you into believing a certain thing. Rebel News doesn't. You just show it as it is.
I would never attend a lockdown protest because it's unsafe.
Did you go to Black Lives Matter one?
Well, that was before we had. Well, yes, I did, but that was before we were in lockdown.
No, we were still. There were still restrictions. It was illegal to protest. There was 4 cases on the day of.
No. There actually hasn't been any cases from that.
You didn't hear what I said. There were 4 cases, new cases on the day of the Black Lives Matter. I didn't say it came from there. There were 4 new on the day of the lockdown this week on Tuesday, where they pepper sprayed the crowd. There was 0 cases for 4 days prior to, and there was a lot more active cases at the time of the Black Lives Matter protests, and we weren't even testing as much.
The difference is like the causes of those protests are actually quite different. So
does that matter?
Yes, absolutely.
The cause matters.
Obviously.
The climate, COVID, or Biden?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I think.
I'm going to say government in general.
Yeah, I think.
Not listening to the people.
Totalitarianism.
That wasn't one of the options, mate.
Is it
Climate, COVID, Biden.
COVID totalitarianism.
He just can't play this one. Why'd you tell her I'm far right? A racist now.
Everybody knows that.
Can you stop throwing your white privilege around?
Yeah, anyway.
I think people won't enjoy life no more. I think
Yeah, but they don't look like they're enjoying life anyway.
Yes, they're miserable.
We've got to find a way to balance environmentalism, human rights, and civil rights, and we can't go too far in any one direction. And it needs to be a slow step toward,
So you guys are for the environment, but you're also for human rights.
Of course.
And you're saying we don't want to do anything stupid, and we still got to live.
Yeah.
You make too much sense to be alive in 2020.
I think so, yeah.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, I really need the toilet. So,
The toilet, that's a male, but you can identify. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, but thanks for the offer.
You can.
That's great.
Can I ask you one more question on that? One more question, and then you can go toilet, male, female, depends what you identify as. A lot of this crew here, they like to attack me for the fact that I call myself a journalist, and the Australian government does, okay? But they say you're not a real journalist. At the same time, this is the same group that says that if I want to, I can identify as a woman. So how's it easier for me to identify as a different gender than a different job? Do you see where I'm a bit confused by their ideology and thought process?
Yeah.
Please don't call me a racist, because that white privilege should not be thrown around like that. Was that a successful protest today? No? Imagine this was lockdown, anti-government lockdown protesters, not Dan Andrews' supporters. This little game of theirs where they set up tables all around the park would not be accepted. One rule for us, another for them. So it was a successful protest today. As you can see, we're wrapping up. Police really took care of our crowd. And till next week, Melbourne, Australia, protests are back on. As long as it's not anti-lockdown, that's still illegal. If you like this report from Rebel News, make sure to hit the like button below to let everybody know you love it. And then share it to spread it far and wide. And most importantly, make sure to go over to Rebel News on YouTube, subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss a thing.